And welcome, beloved mighty companions. Isn't it beautiful to see what Jesus has promised us coming to fruition? That if we listen and follow his voice, that he will help us transcend, like individually, with clarity, and make it so easy. And how much, and to have that relationship one-on-one with him to guide us, and to see that in these light circle sessions and in the joining in light sessions, they're all the same. An opportunity to see, we're light, and how easy it is. Just look, you're right, Jesus. Yep. Once again, you're right. And just feel that love. And as Janet said today, put us all on the floor with the gratitude that comes through, that's our natural state. We would be satisfied with these little crumbs, breadcrumbs, relative to infinite. Yet he's using those little breadcrumbs to go, okay, follow me. Here's another little breadcrumb. He's given us the little breadcrumbs here. Follow me. I'm making it really simple, really clear, really easy. You can look directly at denials directly with me and see nada, 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 nada. I'll show you another nada. Untrue, 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 untrue. And get happier and happier. We might need to put the phones on airplane. We're getting so many bings now, little reminders of how much love there is in the world, and how precious and how joyful it is to be called by Jesus through your brother, through our brothers, through the one answering, the only phone line worth answering. Beam me up, Scotty. Bring me up, Jesus. Yeah. The only phone out of all the ringing banks of phones. You know, this Ernestine, you remember Ernestine? And she had that old-fashioned operator. That was hilarious. And then she'd plug them in, plug into the right phone line. And they'd be like this whole table worth of all the connectors, giving it away to the ageless, to the timeless, no age, no time. And she'd plug in right to the right connection. And that's what Jesus is doing. Let me show you where all the right connections and all the plugs that need to be disconnected, that we've been following into an idea of personal identity. So let's go for Jesus and just sit back, strap our seatbelts on, and take the love to infinite ride. Hashtag supreme happiness. Okay, Jesus. Boy, we start that book, just have no idea what that's. Thankfully, yes. Oh, Jesus. Woo, smoking. Supreme happiness. Okay. So we talked about difficulty in ordering miracles. And just Jesus says, see that love has no difficulty with miracles whatsoever. Does infinite love just look in there and go, I don't know if I can get that miracle today. Because that's really, he's giving us all the language, right? He's just delivering it, It's like, you guys are consciousness likes to play like, I have to sweat out another miracle. I have to work for another one of those miracles. Doesn't that the play come up? We know that's a play. Oh, Jesus, you're going to make me take another miracle. Until you say, oh, that's right, I am the miracle. Okay. And just see it as a play where all we have to do is like laugh about how hilarious it is that we're already light. We're all saying no to being light, you know? Oh my gosh, the happiest day is just getting in that yes, I've been insane line. The checkout line for yes, I've been insane. I'm going to check out of this world. I'm checking out with you, Jesus. We're just going to check out and get out in the checkout line with Jesus and with the admission ticket. I've been crazy. Still crazy after all these years. We can give that up too. Okay. So back we go into the fun, the joy lane. It's beyond even fun. Just ask Jesus. Let's ask him. I love asking him questions like this. He's so joyful. He just laughs with us. So Jesus, he's playful. See how playful he is, really. Ask him about fun. See if how infinite compares to fun. Jesus, how does infinite go? It's like he goes, you have no idea what infinite is compared to fun. You know, fun was a concept, right? We're going to go have fun. We were laughing about that today. You know, because that's the way it played, you know, have fun. Now, it's not to judge the words have fun. Remember, we see no error. You start to see it. We can see the own choice that how that play was, that, you know, you had to have a certain situation to have fun. Yeah. Instead of infinite. Yeah. I had a little definition in there what fun was like. Let's just see if the infinite light here has any definitions whatsoever for what joy looks like. See that, and that came up in that session today. Let's just really be clear with Jesus. What's joy? You. There's so many concepts around joy, you know, Yuletide gay, ringing the bell. That's it. You. Totality. What is joy? That's the only thing that's creation. That's the only thing. Ask Jesus so you can hear it. What's the only thing God creates? Joy. Everything else, ask him. You can ask the light. Miscreation. It's a toe tag for death. Everything else is a toe tag, death tag. But even that, see that in the light's not bothered by that. Let's see, the light bothered by death. It was beautiful when Marguerite goes, she, you know, we're starting to ask those questions, those questions. Is the light bothered by fear? She looks at, no. No, see the light's like, the light tilt over and give in to fear. Light's going. So it just seems for a while in the play of consciousness, since the denial's so strong that we're not the light, we feel like our, you know, our little pinball machine's going to go tilt with a fear. It's like, see that the light doesn't tilt for anything. No need to go tilt, ask. And then I'm pointing to all of you because you're all Jesus. Join with your brother, as he says. Difficulty in order miracles. This is how you deny yourself with the miscreation of order of difficulty of miracles. So he's reminding, I can hear it in there. It's really simple. Again, he's in charge. Yes. Don't reach back on the rudder and try to take it over from let him control the rudder. He's saying that's the easiest thing. What else do I need to be reminded? Jesus, join. See how much love there is in joining with your brother, accepting all the gifts that your brother gives you. Your brother can show you where you need miracles because your brother's is from me to help you learn where miracles need to be found. Total retranslation of relationships, special relationships. Is the light, that's a good question. Does the light have any specialness in there? No special. It just is. We can see, we're starting to see how that specialness, boy, that's the death toll right there. If you believe God cannot enter where God wills to be, you must be interfering with his will. And so that's the ego's plan, to pretend God cannot enter it. The light can't enter in somewhere. So let's just see if there's anywhere where the light isn't. This is honesty of God. Is there anywhere in the light of divine being, and here Jesus says directly, is there any way that where the light isn't? So if you believe he cannot enter, so is there a desire below my level of awareness to try to carve out a little space where God can't enter and put a no enter sign for God? No entry to the light sign in there. Ask. Yes. Like we said, sitting in the light, which is God, the light. Let's just ask Jesus, is the light God? There isn't anything other than light. See, that's a concept that God, just light, infinite, just infinite. That conceptual idea. And then light's always here, light's everywhere. And then try to create a concept around God and what we are. And so to pretend like light can't get in there. So even if we pretend that the light can't get in there, how wrong are we? Like 100%. How wrong are we that the light isn't everywhere? But then we pretend it's not here when we get mad or, the play in consciousness. You must be interfering with his will. Let's just see, because does the light, let's ask that. That's a good question. Is the light's will to be everywhere? Let's ask Jesus. The light have any will other than to be everywhere? Yeah, no. See, there's no light. Is the light waffling around where it is? It's going, I'm not sure where I'm. It just is. It's everywhere. No way to get out. There's no way out of salvation because it's already light. Let's just check, just to confirm. Is there any way for us to escape the light? Try really hard, paddle our little boats fast. That's what they do. As fast as we can to run from the light. Let's just be as fearful as we, just like total fear, terror out the yin yang. And does the light go anywhere? So he's just trying to tell us, you can only pretend that God's not here. Just ask God, if you tell him, God, take a walk, is the light going anywhere? Doesn't go anywhere. Sit on God's lap in the light, put up the protest. God, give in? He said, not give in. So then we just go, okay, so light's here. We can admit that. Now we may not admit, consciousness may play, okay, as though it can't admit that God's already here. It doesn't matter. It's still light. That's why it only takes one to wake up. It's just to realize that nobody's waking up or asleep. Nothing's actually happening in the light. It's just an idea that something's happening. Let's ask the light. Is it just an idea that something happening? Yet we still need the one who knows. We can ask Jesus, so we still need your help even when we recognize the light's here. Do we still need your help? He's not saying no. He's saying, you'll see, like I'll just say my experience. I see that even more than ever. More than ever. It's like that voice becomes so valued. Becomes the only thing of value, actually. And that's the only way. I'm asking, yes, ask him. Is making that voice the only thing of value? I'm asking, can you get out of this can you escape? No, because it's in order to, if that's not the most valuable thing and there's something else valued, you dabbling in the dream dabbling, death dabble. Hashtag death. We're going to have so many good hashtags. It's so good. They're great reminders. It's a play. It's a little hashtag play that doesn't have anything to do with divinity. We can look in there and see, because we're divine beings. We're divine being, the one. If you believe God cannot enter where God wills to be, you must be interfering with his will. Thus, you desire an experience of God not entering in where God wills to be. Jesus, do I have a desire for an experience where God not entering where God into my mind? See, is there a desire for that? Okay, admit it. Show me. I'm willing to see it. We have a miracle. So much love. Get a little hug. A little God cuddle. A little God cuddle. You're fine. You're good. I love you. We specialize in God cuddles in these sessions. Thus, you desire an experience of God not entering where God wills to be. An attempt to interfere with his will, to deny his presence, is always with you. Okay, let's ask Jesus. Jesus, is God's presence always with me? That can bring tears right in your eyeballs when you hear them. That just makes the eyeballs tear up because it's infinite love dancing through the body, right? Infinite, that little cuddle, little God cuddle, until you see that there isn't anything else to be cuddled than God cuddling God. And so we cuddle each other, we cuddle in God. How precious is that? Thus, you desire an experience where you feel you can deny his will for you for perfect happiness. Defy. Jesus. Let's look at this one deeply. Okay, Jesus, is there any desire for an experience where I feel that I can defy God's will for me for perfect happiness? You get a yes immediately. Yes. Is that still active below my level of awareness? Okay. Can we look at it directly? Do we need to? Just ask for miracle on that. You can ask for miracle. Now, you may have homework after the session. Just ask, there may be something to look at. See, and then we can join with a brother and you can dive deeply. You can just ask him, Jesus, is anything that come up, will you point it out to me what I need to spend more time with you on? That's how the precision there's anything in this session, because after the session, we'll join in a little circle over here and start asking, okay, is everything really clear from the session? If not, Jesus, is there anything we need to like really see more deeply? And then we're in that circle, just like we did today. It's a little easier when you're together, of course. And then we do exactly what was that circle today. And then just until it's cleared, and everybody would go around and make sure, is everybody clear? Is there anything he's saying we need to look at like that? And so we can drop really deep. And then we have the spaciousness also just to drop deep with him on anything that he's really pointing to. So, oh, he says, look at this again. Okay, here you go. Thus you desire an experience where you feel you can defy his will for perfect happiness. Okay, Jesus, show me any desire to defy God's will. See, that's that sense of wanting more power than God. Let's see if there's any energy there on that. Well, and to just look at that energy of wanting more power than God. It's hilarious, but it's there. If you feel it's there, then let him toast it out. Just put that. Any itch for that? He says, ask me for a miracle and get a little love cuddle. Little love cuddle. That's what we've been searching for, love all our lives. It's here in the miracle. Ceasing to deny the miracle. Trying to turn the God switch off, even though we can't. Okay. If you believe the holy instant is difficult for you, it is because you have become an arbiter of what is possible and remain unwilling to give place to the one who knows. Well, that's why it's a continual noticing of the holy instant in these light circles, going to the light. So we can see it's easy. We just check in on light. See, there can be a concept of what the light is, which seems to make the holy instant difficult. But he's saying right here, how difficult is the holy instant just noticing that there's something here that's infinite? He's just reminding you it's like this, to notice it, because light is always here. So it's like that instant to just go, oh yeah, the light's here, right? Because you have become arbiter. So if it's not like that, that just means you're trying the consciousness plan to control, to deny the holy instant, and remain unwilling to give place to one who knows, to light. Not giving place in our mind to the light. We can ask Jesus that and hear it. Just notice that the lights come. That's all the holy instant is. Infinite light, shining and shining, untouched by whatever decorations we try to put on to pretend, whatever blinders, whatever filters on experience. It doesn't matter. That light's like my 7-year-old niece. Oh, all's forgiven. The light. And she talked about the light. It's that simple. The complexity is that we won't accept it. We'd rather say that the light is scary. Even when we can see the light is not scary. The light doesn't have a scary bone in it. Let's look for a scary bone. Light just, there's no fear. We have to see through the play of fear and consciousness, that desired experience. That's just keeping fear in play, to deny looking directly that fear does not exist. He's making this really gentle in the light circles. he's saying, ask me, and then look at the desire for the experience of fear. Very, very simple. The desire to defy God's will. Let's ask the light. Is it God's will in our direct experience? Is it God's will for us to experience fear? And hear the light. God has no, so therefore, if we have fear, we're defying God's will. Let's ask. The light of divine being, honest gift, fears arising, are we trying to defy God's will? Wow, that's pretty direct. That's the desire to defy God's will. But see, is the light, getting ready to put us in prison over that? That's why it keeps reminding me, come to me so I can show you there's not to live in the error. It was really beautiful, that video with Marguerite, when she's saying, so she'd have the fear that would seem to rise, and then the guilt over having the fear. No, just see if is Jesus asking, let's be clear about that. Is Jesus asking anyone, the light asking anyone to have guilt over fear? So that's like the next level of cover over. And then we're feeding the guilt. Oh, let's see. Does experiencing guilt attempt to defy God's will? So it's really good we make that connection. Oh, that defies God's will. Okay. Is God back there going? Is the light going? Yeah, you're going to have to experience fear and guilt to wake up. See that the light is not asking for that. That's what is really beautiful in here. It's like, Jesus, does that need it? That's why that relationship with him is so invaluable, to ask him that question. Like, is it necessary to truly feel the feelings? And, and several beings have asked about that. Really feel the feelings. And you listen to that light and see if that light's asking you to feel any feelings whatsoever to wake up. Not a one. Because if you go to desire, feelings arise out of the desire for the experience. So we're going way down below all of that. Not one feeling needs to be experienced. It may arise. There's nothing wrong with it. Jesus is not, but he's going to say, let us join quickly in a moment of light. So you can look directly at the energetic for the experience. Light's not asking for that. That's at least not here. I haven't heard. Jesus just says, no, really. Just look with me, just like we've been doing, very simply. And if those emotions come up, okay, they're playing consciousness. But he's just, yes, he's saying he's just going to bring it to desire. Be with me. Stay with me in the light, and I'll just show you where the desire is. And let's ask, is terror manufactured is a manufacturing product of consciousness? To pretend like the light's coming to get it. Ask the light. You see. And once we start admitting that it's a desired experience, and just seeing him just melt away, like so beautifully with Janet. Oh, that just melts, because of the willingness. The willingness that's why it's so needed. The willingness to see that it's not true. If you believe the holy instant is difficult for you, it's because you have become the arbiter of what is possible and remain unwilling to give place to the one who knows. Thus, you desire an experience of the holy instant being difficult for you. So we can ask Jesus, that's a good one. Is there any desire below my level of awareness to have the holy instant be difficult for me? And I give you that desire. Just see it, that energetic, it's a no, basically, to what's natural. Is there any desire below my level of awareness not to recognize what the holy instant is? Or go, I don't know what it is. Ask them. To pretend like we don't know what that is. We just have to be willing just to see it's already here. ask him, is that a play in consciousness not to recognize what the holy instant is? Just a play. But just hang out in the light circles and he'll clear all that up until there won't be no sideways on that. With divine being, just contemplate Jesus for a while. Infinite light, just contemplate that. And these they're like little puffs. No, I asked Jesus, he says puffs is a good word. It's like the little gentlest, just marinate as the light, and these little, oh, right, that's it. That's all they're here. That's what he means by go in silence to your God. You drop everything, like Muji says. The invitation to freedom is a great way to just do that. And you just drop it, and then you just realize, wait a minute, there's just light here. So it's when the and then comes up. I was feeling so expansive. That's what Jesus is using in these denials to show. I feel so expansive, but I'm still sick. I'm still angry. I'm still see all that play. So I have moments of peace, and Jesus is coming in with this going, okay, you can see that you're light, but if you have those desires, that will not be a consistent experience of happiness. The whole belief in orders of difficulty and miracles is centered on this, that the holy instant is difficult. It's a desire to make the holy instant difficult in experience. You desire an experience where you are unwilling to give place to God. Well, let's just ask, is there any desire below my level of awareness to have an experience where I'm unwilling to give place to God? We can admit it. Okay, you're right. Help me. There's this one little scrap of not willing to give place to suffering. While you believe that your reality or your brother's is bounded by a body, you will believe in sin. Oh, that's a good one to look at, isn't it? Because everything's a body. It's like Marguerite said, Jesus is showing me that I still want people out there, meaning other bodies out there. And I remember that, it was like about 2 years ago or something like that, where I could just see it. It was okay for me not to be a person, but I sure as heck didn't want anybody. I really wanted those. You could just see it. Oh no, that just sounds horrific if there aren't people out there. We can hear that voice. Whose voice saying that? But that's the play in consciousness. Mm-hmm. Wanting to hold on to people. Mm-hmm. People concept, separation, the experience of those othernesses. Okay, so Jesus, you believe that bodies can unite. You will find guilt attractive and believe that sin is precious. So we'll start with, is there a desire to have my reality be my body and my brother bounded by a body? See, that's seeing our brother is limited and not infinite, which means we won't be able to see ourselves as infinite. You can ask Jesus about that. Let's be clear. Okay. You will find guilt attractive and believe sin is precious, while you believe bodies can unite. And it'll be a constant search for the experience of bodies to unite. It won't necessarily always be sexual search, but it'll be, hugs hugs are not bad. None of it's bad. It's just that when you start to notice there's that getting mechanism, the getting mechanism in the way that we communicate with each other, the wanting something from someone. You just see that little predatory nature of the ego thought system. He's just reminding about the desire to have an experience where bodies unite. You will find guilt attractive and believe sin is precious. Thus you desire, and that's from the Course because it's in italics here. Thus you desire an experience of keeping guilt and sin alive through the joining of bodies. Jesus, is there any desire to keep guilt and sin alive through joining of bodies? I'm asking him about, so that means any attraction between bodies. See, that little energy of, he shows you more and more subtle ways, and with like when a body walks by or you see it on TV, you know, and you get that pull. You feel that pull, attracted man in that case, or woman. It doesn't, it's wanting kind of that itch for bodies to join. That attraction, it's not necessarily, it can have the underpinnings in sexuality, but I was just asking him, okay, so that's repulsion too, and he's going, yes. Because then that makes some bodies superiors than other bodies in terms of attractiveness, repulsion. And he's telling me and we can see it, it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing to be retracted or repelled by a body, because that sees our brother as a body, which means we're seeing ourselves as a body. So that itch for body repulsion or attraction is really a good one to sit and have some deep itch, a deep looking at the itch session with Jesus. The itch to be repulsed or attracted. He says there's a lot of body identification in that. And he says you will suffer it. You'll suffer greatly from this. Suffer greatly. Because it's self-denial. It's infinite. It's denial. Well, he's reminding the denial of the Father's will, of course, for perfect happiness. It's a substitute attraction for love. It's a getting mechanism, trying to get something. So if we try to get something, that means we believe we don't have something, that we already are infinite love. The belief that bodies can limit mind leads to a perception of a world in which proof of separation seems to be everywhere. Thus, you desire the experience where the body seems to limit the mind, and thus to experience finding proof of separation everywhere through the experience of the body. So this is really helpful to have these side by side, because it goes back to the prior one. So he's talking about, so that feeling of attraction is looking for proof of bodies, that bodies are real. That repulsion is actually a means that the ego uses to prove that bodies are real and keep that feeling that bodies are real alive. Well, I'll just say present in mind, rather than what's beyond a body. So see how consciousness plays, and just notice how you'll get, so you see an attractive male, let's just say Ryan Reynolds or whoever. He's really cute. Okay. So, and you feel that pull, or it could be a woman or whatever it is. That pull, there's no one out there to pull to. So that's like being pulled apart on the inside. That's being pulled out of just present joining with yourself, because it's that energetic otherness there. I was just asking him, so in any case where there's a pull, he's saying yes, the slightest pull. because there's no one out there to be pulled to. So it's all happening within the one, pretending like there's an other to be pulled toward. But it's the way consciousness plays to be pulled to other or repelled by others. So it's this constant contraction, being repelled and attracted like this. It's like the ping pong on the ping pong table, just to distract from the fact that infinite love isn't pulled anywhere. Let's see if the light gets pulled anywhere. Is it pulled or pushed, shoved, contracted? It doesn't get involved in any of that play. But you can see how consciousness plays to jump into the arena of the ping pong match between which body looks good and which body looks bad, and isn't that too bad? They're missing an arm, that whole play. I wish I had those good looking feet. Just see how much distraction. My feet look terrible. I got the ugliest feet on the planet. Why didn't God give me better feet? When we just ask him, who created those feet? Nobody. There's no one there to create them. It's just a dream. Jesus said to me, you think you have a head. Jesus, in the light of divine being, do we actually have feet? And you're thinking, no. So that's maybe a good, I was just asking him, so Jesus, does that mean if we have a pain somewhere, can we ask in reality, does that, because a lot of times you notice it seems to be, oh, I have a pain in my foot, or like with me, it was like I had a pain in my head. Is it good to ask? He said, well, he's just saying, come to him. That's the best thing. But he says it is good. You can ask whether feet exist, ask the light. Wherever that pain is, to see immediately there's nothing out there for that pain. So it's an image. It's a projection of an image in the mind. Pain is a it's an outpicturing. The outpicturing a body part, and it's trying to get rid of it. It makes the body, which is neutral. See, he says it's neutral. And then, oh my God, I hate being a body. I just remember that. I don't want to be a body. Yes, you do. You created it to play as a body, but that's how the ego plays. And then it hates certain body parts and all that stuff. Let's just find out that we have no body parts. That's just really, that seems simple. What a discussion. Okay. Thus, you desire an experience where the body seems to limit the mind. So instead of looking for proof, we're doubting the doubter. We're doubting that those thoughts are true, that there is a body out there. Thus you desire experience where the body seems to limit the mind, and thus to experience finding proof of separation everywhere through experiences of the body. See, and then forgiveness washes away the perception, the addiction to the experience of a body and a world out there and other bodies. And just ask the light, if I just look at all these desires, what happens to perception? Can desire exist without the desire for it? Can perception exist without the desire for it? Ask the light. No. Proof of separation everywhere through experiences of the body. Jesus, is there a desire to find proof of separation everywhere through experiences of the body? We could just ask them. You hear him say, yes. Will you help me through it? Yes. And of course, he always says, follow me. The one problem, one solution. Hear my voice. See that I'm the one in control of the atonement. Let me take the rudder, Christ's control. All the way. And then he's going to putter that little boat right into supreme happiness and let the little boat putter along at his speed. He's reminding me, not my, because there were, sometimes we'll get in this little thing is, this waking up, it's not going fast enough. Who is saying that? I said, Jesus, is that not trusting? He says, yes. That's the one it's the one who's pretending not to be awake, being mad about not being awake. So see that is a dead end. That's a rat in a maze, and it goes into a dead end, and it's trying to beat its head through that. Jesus is going, come back. That's a dead end. Come back over here. I'm going to show you where the block is, where the denial, exactly where it is, where you're saying no. I'll show you exactly where it is. And then when you're ready, you can just give it to me. You don't need that big heavy brick you've been carrying. That's what he'll say. Ask him, Jesus, will you show me where all the big heavy bricks are I'm carrying? And it's like, the big heavy bricks of consciousness to feel like we're under a crushing rate all the time. And then saying, oh, it's just terrible, this big crushing weight. Thank you, Jesus, for the clarity. He's just making it so clear that he's here to help us, and that every single thing that he's promised in A Course in Miracles is true, is available by direct experience, not tomorrow, like today. Right now, infinite, unchanging light, supreme happiness, and just laying it all in the hands of the one who knows, who's been given us, who he called to us to help us. And we called to us in the form of our brother to help us. So when we're saying no to our brother, we're saying no to ourselves. That is, now we're stepping on holy ground. The holy ground of truth with each other. Two minds perceive their oneness and become glad. So we can just have that little, quote unquote, this makes me smile, this exercise, Jesus exercise of seeing each brother as light in our mind. And just go to each brother. There's grace. Just feel grace in my heart. And then just feel Teresa as myself, and Pima, and Patrick, and Janet, and Russell, and Dara, and Tatsy. You can go slower if you want to really get the juice. And Heidi, and Christy, and Rita, and Renee. And just feel them all in there and to see how happy you are. One thought of joining in the mind. You just can do that with one brother and go into heaven right away. Because it's a denial, that separation, to see them in the light. It's like, whoa. That's our natural state. Thank you, Jesus, and amen. Go for Jesus. We might get Go for Jesus t-shirts. We're all in. I love you.